Morning, guys. Oh my goodness. You know how I say sometimes that it's cold? It's cold. It is 44 degrees right now. And it's gonna be unbearable today. I mean, I already can't feel my fingertips. It's gonna be a tough day. I know some of the folks, I get it all the time from the northern folks tell me that we don't know what cold is, and you're right. I mean, in Miami, we can't handle this. Is crippling, this temperature. We're used to the heat. When you come to Florida in the summertime and you go outside and you feel like you can't breathe, it's so hot, and the humidity, that's what we're used to. We are not used to this. I don't even have clothes for this. I mean, we might get a day or two a year like this. And I mean, golly, I've got on a t-shirt, one of my fishing shirts, which, by the way, guys, you can, if you want to help support us, we sell SPF fishing apparel. You can get it on our website at pescatarianfishing.com. I'll put the information right here. We've got, I don't know, like 6 or 7 different shirt color and logo combinations that you could choose from. But I've got the t-shirt, I've got one of my fishing shirts, and I got 2 hoodies and this jacket, and then my Grundens. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to work like this. The mobility, I can barely move. So we'll see when we get out there, but it's gonna be a tall task today because of this temperature. And on top of that, we've got a northeast wind ripping at 20 to 25 miles an hour. So throw that into the mix. It's going to be a rough day. I will get soaked. Me and you are together, but you're watching it in the comfort of your home, so you won't get wet. But it's going to be nasty today. Hoping to bounce back. If you saw the last video, we had our worst pull of the year. So really hoping to bounce back today. Let's get out there and let's get going. Let's go. Alrighty, guys. I've already pulled like 15 traps, and I'll tell you, this is unbearable. I hope I can make it through the day. I am freezing. I'm shivering. Oh my God. This is not pleasant. So this line right here that we're gonna do right now is 10 traps that we moved last time. And we've got them, they're in a new spot here. So hopefully this new spot pays off. We started out okay. It's not like, lighting the world on fire, but it's definitely not like it was last time. So it's promising. I just hope. I don't want to get too excited with the first, 15 traps, because it could, like I always say, there's good patches and then there's bad patches. So as long as it keeps going, we'll be good. Awesome. So you can see here, guys, nothing. Okay. Oh, Nelly. Well, we're not gonna panic on the new spot yet. It's only the first trap. And it does happen. We got a trap there in the back. Lower this down here. We got a trap there in the back that I'm moving because it just hasn't been doing well. So it happens. You hit some spots that are not good. Man, I'll tell you guys, this is tough. I can't even talk. It's so cold. I can't feel my fingers or my toes. Oh man, and if the wind wasn't blowing this much, it would be better, because you wouldn't be getting all the spray from the salt water in your face, driving in between buoys. This is unbearable. We're gonna get a couple days of good weather coming up, and then it gets even worse. So Okay, here we go. Oh. Two. All right, so 3 claws. We got almost half a bucket so far. But you see, guys, you can take a look at this. Is the bait from last time, and it's not decomposing. So it's really not gonna work well until that bait starts decomposing, because that's what attracts the crab, is that scent, you know? And this cold weather is gonna make it even worse. You know, the colder it is, the more it preserves that bait. And just for a time check, guys, just so you know what time it is 8:10. I'm really not going as fast as I normally do. I could barely move with all these layers on. And like I said in the beginning, this Florida boy, I'm not built for the cold. I can't do it. I would rather be, you know, those heat indexes that we get in the summer, where it's like, it feels like 115, feels like 120. I would rather work in that than work in this. But this is a life of stone crabbing. We get horrible weather in the wintertime here. So, oh Nelly, oh Nelly. Look at this, guys. This is a good sign. It's a good sign here. Even though we got some little ones here and no claws, but it's a good sign when you're getting your target species. These little ones are the ones that I'm very cautious about. Yeah, that guy's good. And this guy's gonna have one good one. Oh man, my nose is so runny. This is just unbearable. See, guys, this is how you measure it. You put it on the gauge, and it can't go. If it falls below the gauge there, it's no good. All right, so 4. Let's give this guy another little piece. He did a good job. This is getting him some bait. My logbook is completely soaked with water. This is just, whew. And then, you know, you come out here into summertime and it's beautiful, flat calm, clear water. But I imagine it's, you know, guys up in Gloucester, Outer Banks, same deal. Summertime, it's got to be beautiful. And in the wintertime, I don't know how they do it. I used to watch Wicked Tuna Outer Banks, and I remember one year they were shoveling snow and breaking ice on the decks to go fishing. I mean, there's just no way. I can't function in that. All right, guys, so far we're doing all right in this. Again, it's not lighting the world on fire, but you know, if I can average a claw per trap, we'll be able to cover the expenses and, you know, make a little bit of money. Ooh. And then if that 1 claw per trap are big claws, it's even better. Another guy in here. I think he doesn't have claws. Nope. No claws. You see how they're already molting to grow back? Super, super sustainable fishery, because the crab can grow their claws back, you know? You know, I see a lot of people writing comments on other guys on Instagram and stuff. Guys, you could take both claws. The claws, the crabs don't use their claws to eat like we would use our hands to eat, right? They use it for fighting. And believe it or not, they are very, very vicious with each other. They fight each other like crazy. So when the crab doesn't have the claws, what happens is that the crab, it doesn't fight because it knows that it can't fight, right? So they're not looking for trouble. And then what happens is they just scavenge for food. And now people think, oh, you know, we're hurting the crab by taking the claws off. But the reality is, the reason why their claws grow back is because that's something through evolution that they've developed. And so what happens is they also let go of their own claws. So like if they're in trouble, if they're stuck somewhere, if a predator gets a hold of them, they'll let go of their claw to be able to escape. And then the claw will grow back. So, you know, when we're harvesting these claws, we're doing nothing different than what they normally do in their own environment. They do the same thing, and the beauty of it is that the claws grow back. So it's super, super sustainable. I'll tell you what's not sustainable is me pulling traps in these wind and cold temperatures. Oh man. So here we go, we've hit a couple with nothing. And again, it's been so slow that you can't just pull the trigger and say, I'm gonna move these again next time. Because I just haven't given it enough time here to know if this is gonna be a good spot. So I'll have to give it a couple more weeks and try it and see. So far it's not terrible. What you don't wanna see is just pulling traps with nothing. Like we did last time, you know? Kind of like what we're seeing now. But again, you can take a look at the bait here. Look at that bait. It still has the hair from a week ago. So that bait really isn't doing work yet. You know, it's just way too cold. So what I'm gonna do is just, you know, you keep the data and just keep tracking it and see how this does, you know? You know, it could be too that we, you know, like I said earlier, you have traps that fall in a little patch that's not good. And then those do have to be moved. I mean, I have lines of traps that do have gaps in them just because I have traps that just haven't produced. You can kind of see the bottom today, but it's just not super clear. Oh, Dally. We're not gonna push the panic button yet. Not yet. I mean, I talked to another guy yesterday, and he told me he pulled all day and got 10 pounds. So it is, I mean, you can't do nothing with 10 pounds. Maybe eat it. That's about it. 10 pounds won't even cover your fuel bill. So we'll see how it goes for us today. I mean, got 30 pounds that we caught last week and 200 traps. It's pretty rock bottom. We haven't had that all season. So it's still very, very early in the day. We'll see what this thing shapes out to be. But if this one doesn't have anything, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pause it and then bring you guys back in another line where, you know, we can see some crab. Lobster. Let me show you this, guys. This, now we want to see little baby lobsters. You can see the cowhide still has the hair on it. I mean, it's just, when the water's so cold like this, it's not, you know, the bait doesn't work. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll pause it and I'll bring you back. This new line didn't do what I thought it would. I was hoping it would do. Alrighty. We are back, and I don't know where to record. It is incredibly slow. It's cold, and slow. So at least if I was catching crab, you know, you're kind of getting into it and you're like, all right, we're making some money. But I'm somewhere around, I don't know, 90, 95 traps in already. Good thing is, I've got one bucket already, and I just started the second one. So one bucket will pay for the bills. Now whatever we get is money earned. We are not starting off good, guys, but I really think a big problem of it is the coldness in the water. This bait is not decomposing. I've barely gone through 2 buckets of pig's feet. Normally I should be, 4 buckets right now. The bait, the cowhide and the pig's feet is still pretty intact. Only in the traps where I'm actually catching crab is where I have, let me open this up a little bit here. The traps where I'm catching is the only ones that, I've had to replace them. But really slow. I'm gonna go ahead and pull here, 5 or 6 traps with you, and then if we're not catching, I'll go ahead and pause it and come back in another one. But man, just a super slow day. And the fear now is that this is how it's gonna be, the last couple months of the season. And that for me is very scary, because you'll see here in another week or 2, I'm waiting for the tags to come in. See, this guy here has got no claws. Let's see the bait. I'm waiting for the tags to come in, but we made a huge investment. And I got another 140 tags. I bought the traps and I built them, and now I'm gonna be pouring cement this week because I anticipate that the tags will come in this week. But huge investment. I'm taking the money that I'm making and I just reinvested it all year back into the business to expand. And if we're gonna hit this really slow time now, that's very dangerous, because I gotta keep moving forward. I gotta get these traps built, cement, and I gotta put them in the water. They're not gonna catch crab at the house. I hope that it's just been a rough couple weeks, because it is a lot of work, a lot of fuel, a lot of expenses to get these things built, pour cement, and get them out here to come and pull them and not catch crab. But all right, here we go. Oh, don't tell me he's dead. He's not moving, guys. Oof. Let's go with the ones that are alive. Yeah, that guy's dead. All right, so 4. But you see, when I was talking earlier, what the crabs do, they kill each other. And they killed that guy, which is a beautiful specimen of a crab. All right, so 4. It's pretty good. So yeah, guys, big investment in these traps. To buy the tag and the trap, we're talking about $110 a piece. And then we're gonna burn a ton of fuel to get them out here. And when you're dropping traps, there's no income, it's just expenses. You're just running out, dropping and going back, really hoping. It is better than last time, because last time we only caught 1 bucket. I still got another 100 more traps to go. But it's just so slow. There's a lot of guys out here yesterday that were moving more traps because they're not catching. So I moved a bunch 2 weeks ago. So now I just gotta sit and wait and see in these new spots how they do. Nothing. Oh, Nelly, Deli. This is a tough thing about commercial fishing. But again, like I always say, we could hit some patches of good. And I got another 100 left to go. And it spans a very long territory. So hopefully you know, we could do some damage there and get some crab. Would be nice to at least fill up 3 buckets. I thought there would be some guys out here. I haven't seen a single boat all day. I know that my buddy Captain Abel's out here, as I talked to him last night, and I haven't seen him. In the marina, when I got there, I was the only one in the parking lot. It's definitely not a day that anybody's gonna come out for fun. Not with this weather. Again, not for us here in Florida. Oh man. So yeah, hopefully we can get these tags this week and get that cement poured, and then we'll bring them out here. I'm gonna record that too, so you get an idea of what it's like. But it's gonna kind of be like how the first video, you know, the beginning of the season when we're loading up and bringing them out, when I was coming out with my son. It'll be like that, except we'll try to do, you know, I'll have to bring it in 3 trips, 140. And we're gonna try to get it all done in one day. So I gotta find somebody to be my mate to help me load up the boat and drop the traps, because that's just, I'll never finish in one day. With someone helping me, it would be like a 12 to 14 hour day. And that also includes my dad, who he's gonna be my U-Haul driver. So we load all the traps in the U-Haul so that we could be efficient and bring them all at once to the marina. Guys, this is uneventful. We're gonna do one more. If we haven't caught anything here, I got another little stretch of traps down the road that always does pretty decent. These traps here do pretty good, but it's just been super, super slow. I mean, I hit a couple traps earlier. You know, one had 9, one had 6, one had 5. That kind of really helps out, but it's been really, really slow the rest of the way. But we'll pull the next one, and then I will, if we don't catch anything here, I'll come back in those other traps. They're probably, I don't know, 30 traps down the line from where I'm at here. So, but right now we are almost at the halfway point for the day. And I'll tell you the time now so you get an idea. But today I got a late start. I was really second guessing, should I wait a little bit more? Because, you know, as the sun goes up, it warms up. The high today is only gonna be 64. We got one in here, but it's better than 44 that it was this morning. You see how this is a big old crab. This one might not be, yes it is. So he has grown those 2 back, so 2, but you see, the bait is still very, very much intact. I also had, guys, I have 4 traps that were broken, and they're broken from the crabs chewing through the through the trap, which is heartbreaking, because you know that they're big, big crabs, and they could break out of that trap. And I had 4 of them. Heartbreaking, you know, those are the big, big ones. All right, so what we'll do, we'll pull one more. Let's see, we'll do one more and see what that next one is like. But either way, I will still bring you back down the line here and those other ones that do pretty good. Tough, tough day to be out here pulling traps. I am, even though I got all this foul weather gear, but I'm getting, every time I hit a wave, all that salt water is coming down my neck and into my hoodies. Let's see what we got here. This is like the lottery. This is like gambling. Every time we pull the trap, it's like gambling. Ooh, here's a lobster. And then here is a really good sized crab. This, guys, is exactly what we need. If we could get one of these in every trap, This size claw right here retails for $80 a pound. And this right here is probably a 10-ounce claw. So a little bit over half a pound. This is $40 right here. So this is one of the most expensive seafoods, if not the most expensive, that you could buy. So we'll update the log here, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop it, and then I'll pause the cameras and I'll bring you back in those other traps. And I'm really trying to go quick, because I know you're watching this and you can't see it in the camera, but I am freezing. I'm wet. It's not a good day to be out here. I really don't want to wind up getting sick with all the work that I have to do with getting these traps ready and get them in the water. So I want to get home. Have an adult beverage, and get warm. Change my clothes, and go ahead and cook the crab and clean the boat. But I'm gonna pause it, and I'm gonna bring you back in a little bit. Fingers crossed we get a full bucket by the time we come back. Let's go. All right, guys. It hasn't gotten any better. It's still extremely windy. It's still super cold. And it's still super slow. When I left you guys, I don't remember what time it was, we were working on the second bucket, and we are still working on the second bucket. And you can see right here, we got a little bit to go to get it to the top. We're close, but you know, that closeness is probably another 15, 20 claws. And at the rate that I've been going, I mean, I just finished pulling 20 traps, and I got 3 claws in 20 traps. It's slow. I will tell you, I did look at the, because all the guys are talking about how slow it is. I did look at my logs, and the last 2 years, this month has been deathly slow, where I was losing money pulling the traps. Now this year, because I have more traps than I had last year, it's helping me out a little bit, because, you know, when you come out here, the more traps that you can pull in one day, if you maximize your day, you know, from sun up to sundown, you have a higher chance of being able to cover your expenses and then try to make some money. So that's what I did. I was able to build it up where, you know, I'm out here pulling all day, and that has really helped, because it's still slow, but you're just going through more traps. Oh my goodness, you're going through more traps in a day. So, you know, the more traps that you can pull, even if it's really, really slow, like this, you know, you could get more crab throughout the day. You know, when you get that, you know, like I pulled 20, you can get half a claw per trap. But that really helps. So thankfully I haven't been where I lost money, but the last trip, thankfully I was able to cover the expenses. And this trip now, I mean, like I told you guys in the morning, you know, I need 1 bucket to pay for everything. And then the second bucket and third and fourth, you know, everything after that is money earned. You know, the fuel bill to get out here and get back is huge. So we'll see. These, I got 4 traps here. This is what I was waiting for. These always do pretty good. I had like 30 here. And these were the only ones that consistently kept catching. And the one that we just pulled was my best one. And it was empty. So I am hoping, you know, I probably got, I don't know, 40 to 60 more traps left that we can, you know, hit some spots where we could get at least half a bucket. We're definitely not gonna get, we're not gonna get 3. Here we go. And I don't think he's got claws. So like I was telling you guys earlier, guys, the crabs survive perfectly fine without claws. Yeah, we're not gonna get that third bucket, but man, it would be nice to actually fill that one up and maybe get half. But I doubt we're gonna get, you know, maybe a half. Maybe fill this one up and get close to a half, but it's really, really slow. And I really wonder if it's got to do, you know, it's January right now, so January and February are the coldest months for us. And, you know, I think that's the reason why historically January is so slow, because of the temperature. If that bait can't decompose, we're doing nothing. You know, the crabs they're gonna go in there to eat. They're not just gonna go in there to hang out. So if it's not giving off scent, it's not working. You know, and I put cat food in the traps. I did it in 100, and then I did it in those same 100 again when I came back, but it's expensive. The cat food is you know, coming out to 75 cents a trap, you know, on top of the pig's feet. So then you got to factor in, you got to make all that at a, you know, all the bait costs that you're putting in per trap, you got to make it in crab and then some, so that you can make money. So I didn't repeat the cat food now, man. But you can see this, guys. Look at this bait. Look at this shank of a pig's foot that's been in there for 3 weeks. 3 weeks now. The only solve for this is to, you know, load them up with bait and give them more time. You know, more soak times to let that bait really start decomposing and attracting the crabs. We got one more here. Let's see. We haven't got one claw yet out of these 4. And these are like my good ones. Can only imagine the bad ones. I mean, we did a bunch of moves, my son and I and myself, and so now I feel good about where all the traps are. I don't have any that have just been in really bad, you know, in a bad area where they haven't produced. It's just really slow right now. So we gotta let them go and see what happens here in the next few weeks. And hopefully next month turns around, because we are bringing those other traps out here. And this is no fun to come out here and do all this manual work for nothing. Oh, there's one in here. Let's see this. He's got one claw, and that one's too small. All right. Oh man. At least we got a second bucket. We got to fill that thing up by the end of the day. I mean, even as slow as it is, I think we could get that bucket full. So with the 2 buckets full, should be somewhere around, you know, 55 to 60 pounds. So I'm going to keep pulling the traps, guys, because I am freezing, I'm cold, I'm wet. And I'm gonna bring you back at the end and show you the total. Show you how the day went. Guys, we are done. So remember, it's me and you. That's why I say we. So time is 3:45. What a tough day. And remember I told you, hopefully we can level off that bucket and maybe get half of another bucket. Well, guess what? I pulled the last 40 traps, 13 claws. I did not get to fill up the bucket. As you can see, it's still not all the way full, but I would think we have here somewhere around 40 to 50 pounds, 45 to 55 pounds. Tough sledding, tough sledding today. I don't know what's going on with the crab, but it is nowhere to be found. Nobody's catching crab. And I'll tell you, from where I am now to where I started is probably like 35 miles in length. It's a long way, 30 miles. Long area that I covered, and we never found them. Never got to it, but thankfully we're gonna be able to cover the expenses, and we've got another bucket, so we'll make a little bit of money this week. If you missed last week's video, I'm gonna link it at the end of this one. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna catch you next week. Let's go.